So in this video, I'm going to look at the highlights of day 3, Tekashi, 6ix9ine in court. And also, I'm going to, at the end of this video, explain why 2 of my videos, I've deleted them myself in the last 24 hours. One was the 6ix9ine one from yesterday, one of them, I did 2. And the other one was the Epstein one this morning. God, I wish I'd have watched that before I posted it. I had no idea how it came across as inappropriate laughing by the hosts and my own uneasiness. Alright, so let's go to 6ix9ine in court day 3. Snitching on Cardi B. Cardi B is a rapper, TV personality, actress out of the Bronx, New York, and some of her stuff went so viral that she now has 11.4 million subscribers on YouTube. I just pulled up one of her videos and it had over 1 billion views. Yep, so 6ix9ine throwing some big names out. So in federal court, matter-of-factly claiming that the Dipset rapper Jim Jones was in the East Coast gang 9 Trey Bloods, and he also said that Cardi B is a member of the Bloods. She has said things in the past about an association. So, you know, again, these rappers trying to sell records, attaching themselves to criminal enterprises. So Daniel Landers made the disclosures during day 3. This is the case against the 2 co-defendants that refused to sign a plea bargain, Harv Ellison and Nuke Mac, about the kidnapping of 6ix9ine in July 2018, which I covered yesterday, the kidnapping. All of the Tekashi videos are in the playlist in the description box below this video. Everything I've been doing on Tekashi since last year. Heroin and ecstasy, they've got charges for as well, the 2 co-defendants. So the prosecutor asked him about Jim Jones. He's a retired rapper, 6ix9ine said. Well, actually he released an album in May of this year. Was Jim Jones in 9 Trey? Yes, 6ix9ine said. So prosecution played audio from a November 2018 call, wiretaps. Oh my goodness. And my case, wiretaps. I told everybody not to say anything on the phones about drug transactions, but there ended up thousands and thousands of wiretapped calls. My lawyer had to get me special legal visits so I would sit in the visitation room in Maricopa County Jail listening to these thousands of calls to try and piece together what had happened. All the calls were in, like the run up to our arrest, really within the last year, a period of time over which I had not been importing ecstasy. I'd actually met a woman and she talked me out of it and I'd stopped, but people were still using my name, throwing my name out there to do their transactions. Even though all the suppliers for all of these drugs coming into the conspiracy were also caught up in the calls, the police called it the Attwood enterprise. But, you know, the Attwood enterprise had existed for 5 years prior to me quitting, I think. And I did import vast amounts of ecstasy, so, you know, they got me one way or another, and it was time for me to accept my karma cheerfully. But it's absolutely fascinating listening to those wiretap calls. If I can get my hands on those wiretap calls, I might put some of them on the YouTube channel. Let me see if I can do that. I only ever use payphones, and they did catch me on the wiretap calls, calling in for some personal use, but never did they catch me doing a drug deal. So they're playing the wiretap calls with Jim Jones and alleged 9 Trey godfather Jamel Mel Murder. Jones complained about 6ix9ine publicly trash talking gang members. Now he's going to get violated, Jim Jones said. Yeah, super violated, super duper, Jamel Jones said. Just tell that N-word that he not a gang member no more. He kicked out the whip. He was never a gang member, Jim Jones said. 6ix9ine also said that Cardi B was a blood. She discussed affiliations before, but talking about other people's gang ties is poor form. Probably one of the reasons there's a hashtag Tekashi snitch is going viral right now. Tekashi snitch9. A rep for Cardi has denied the allegation, telling TMZ this is not true. TMZ reported that Cardi admitted blood ties but made clear she had nothing to do with the 9 tray. There was also a brief discussion in which Longyear asked 6ix9ine to explain dry snitching. That's the prosecutor asking him what was dry snitching. And 6ix9ine said, dry snitching is snitching without snitching. You're telling people what happened, but you're not putting your name on it. So, got to give an example of this. Say like there's a fight in prison, in a cell, and there's 45 men in the pod, and if all those men like run to look at that fight, the guards in the control tower will know there is a fight, so they have the prisoners have inadvertently signaled to the guards that there's a fight in progress. They've snitched that fight out without verbally saying anything to the guards. So when there is a fight, people position themselves like they're on the phone watching it, or they're mopping up watching it, or they're clustered here, clustered there, playing cards here, playing dominoes there. So it doesn't signal that to the guards. So 6ix9ine discussed his beef with rapper Chief Keef, culminating in the shootout outside the Times Square Hotel in June 2018. He said he asked his friend Kuda to shoot at Keef, agreeing to pay him 20 grand. He met up with Kuda. He only gave him 10 grand because Kuda only fired into the air. So that sounds more like a publicity stunt than a hit. The Medellin cartel would have carried that out a little differently. Security breaches were revealed. Oh yeah, the recording of the audio. This now relates to my video, the first video that I had to delete. So, recording audio in federal courthouses is strictly prohibited. People aren't allowed to take electronics inside unless they've got special permission. However, someone illegally recorded audio and it was put on YouTube on Wednesday. A still photo and video was posted on DJ Academic's Twitter account Thursday. Okay, so I edited down just under 10 minutes of that audio and put it on my YouTube channel. Courtroom testimony is not copyrightable and neither is a mugshot. So I figured a copyright strike could not come down because there was a mugshot on the picture. You can't copyright mugshots. And courtroom testimony, court documents are, you know, those are accessible under Freedom of Information Act. You can't copyright that information. However, because this was illegally recorded, it opened a legal quagmire. I thought, alright, should I take the risk of putting this on? I think people want to hear it in his own words. I took the risk of doing it. Then, last night, I got a message from YouTube saying we are removing your verified status. Yeah. So YouTube has been getting increasingly aggressive with me with demonetizations, and now they sent me this email saying they're gonna remove my verified status. The previous video I posted was this one of Tekashi, possibly a legal situation right there, so I deleted that video. Don't want to upset YouTube. I want a good working relationship with YouTube, but I've now had to file an appeal to maintain my verified as Shaun Attwood status. I had to give them some of my other social links and also a newspaper article citing that I am a popular YouTuber and there was a Washington Post article that cited me, Big Herc, After Prison Show, I think 23 in 1 Lockdown. Shout out to all those guys doing great work. So I sent them that link to that Washington Post article as well. So hopefully I'll get a decision. I think they said in October whether my verified status is going to be maintained or not. But just getting back to 6ix9ine. So he admitted that he'd lied in interviews following his alleged kidnapping. Why did you lie? The prosecutor asked. Because I was humiliated. Humiliated because I constantly bragged that no one could touch me, that I was untouchable, the king of New York. He lied that I blacked out. He also revealed that My Little Pony chain, stolen during his kidnapping, didn't cost him any money. We had a deal, he said of his jewelers in South Florida. They gave him the chain free to promote it. As 6ix9ine boosted the chain on social, the jewelers would make smaller versions and sell them. He claimed that the total value of the jewellery stolen was $365,000. So one of the lawyers for the Codis continued to portray 6ix9ine as a fabulist who staged his kidnapping to promote the FEFE video. You were kidnapped on the 21st, he was asked. No, July 22. And when was FEFE supposed to be released? July 22. So this alleged robbery and kidnapping happened hours before the release. Correct, 6ix9ine said. As part of the strategy, he asked 6ix9ine about trolling. And 6ix9ine said it can mean a lot of things, but to me it means agonizing, mocking, showing off a little bit of my personality. Did you tell others to suck your body parts? Correct. Who did you tell that to? Everyone. He talked about his plea. He copped to 9 federal counts in January, agreed to cooperate against 9 Trey for a more lenient sentence. So he's hoping that he's going to be a short timer by doing all this testimony, maybe get out, go into witness protection. Under normal circumstances, he faced 47 years in the feds. But if he tells the truth and testifies, well, prosecutors can write a 5K1 letter which will let the judge sentence him below the minimum, but it will still be totally up to the judge. What type of information goes in the letter? The good, the bad and the ugly, 6ix9ine said. So his next court appearance is going to be at his sentencing, expected January 2020, but these sentences, my sentence hearing kept getting postponed multiple times. My family actually flew out from the UK for one of my sentencing hearings and it got postponed after flying 5,000 miles and spending thousands and thousands of pounds. So the justice system, it's Alice in Wonderland, anything can happen. Whether he gets sentenced then, who knows. So, Cardi B responded last night, 6ix9ine's testimony that she is involved with the East Coast gang, 9 Trey Bloods. And regarding the other video that was deleted this morning, it was the Epstein, Prince Andrew, John Wedger, Jimmy Savile video. I was interviewed for the second time by I think it's a TV show in America, and I didn't really look at the other stuff that they had done. The first interview I did, it went well, but on the second interview, they really were making jokes about inappropriate things pertaining to Epstein victims. Then you got to ask yourself, you know, there's the political correctness police versus what can you get away with when it comes to humour. And I did feel a bit uncomfortable listening to what they were saying, and I tried to smile along, but it probably came across inappropriately, and I do apologise to people. Just all morning long, a whole bunch of comments on that video. You know, some people could see that I was in a situation, other people thought, alright, he's just laughing at the victims of these things, this is bad. And I completely understand people thinking that, and I do apologise. Now, the other thing was, on that video, I forgot to plug in my high-speed internet cable. So, when they are talking to me and when I'm responding, we're out of sync. So some of it, I was laughing, smiling at things, but then by the time the feed caught up, they were saying something else, so it looks like I was smiling even worse at things that I wasn't supposed to be smiling at. So yeah, it was just a complete and utter clusterfuck. So I have deleted that one. I am going to be going on the True Geordie podcast tomorrow exclusively to talk about Epstein. The whole podcast, I believe, that's the impression I've got. So all today, I am researching Epstein further. I've now got the murder suspect who actually possibly could have committed the murder. I've got who were behind the murder suspect, the architects of the murder, the chief co-conspirators, and hopefully I can get into Arkansas and the Clinton body count and all this other stuff with True Geordie. True Geordie and Lawrence do like to crack jokes, so I will, perhaps it was good that this other thing happened, so my demeanour will be adjusted appropriately so that I don't cause any offence to the people out there. And you know what, I'm glad all you guys told me that and commented in that way, so that I could see that the errors that were made, and those errors definitely won't be getting made again. With YouTube then, got the letter about the email about the de-verification, but also with some of my stuff, you know, I've been making edits to podcasts and re-uploading them because of the demonetization, and I've got some more backup now and monetized. But YouTube now, some of my videos, I've won appeals to have them remonetized after they automatically demonetized it, and days later, after those appeals were won, YouTube's automatically switched them back to demonetized with no further appeal possible because the appeal process is already exhausted. The common theme throughout all those videos is they had Epstein in the title. So they are trying to come down on Epstein videos. It's falling out the news. They're trying to shadow ban it. And I can see how this is affecting my channel now. Alright, anyway, appreciate all of your support, feedback, comments. Really looking forward to True Geordie tomorrow. Thanks to everyone who posted questions for David Macmillan. I'm filming with David Macmillan next week. If you've not seen his series on my true crime podcast, it will blow your mind. He was a kingpin who was hunted across 5 continents. But he doesn't look like an Escobar character. He's a very well spoken, Queen's Australian English, posh sounding guy, like a university professor. You would not imagine that this guy was running this multi-million-dollar ring across 5 continents, and he actually escaped from death row in Thailand, the only Westerner to escape from death row in Thailand. So if you want to click over onto my True Crime podcast and watch any of his videos, they're all the series. Kingpin hunted across 5 continents. I think the title is something like that. David Macmillan. Check those out. And then I appreciate everyone who has donated. The links are below. And appreciate all of your likes, comments, and subs. And the subs, even though I'm pointing down to my left, the subscription box, I've been reminded, is in the bottom right hand. My left is your right. Bottom right hand. Bottom right hand. Sorry. There's an icon there if you want to subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get us up to 300,000 subs, and if we can get up to 1 million, you know, Wildman and I can go on tour, and loads of people are demanding that, but I don't think enough people know us yet. But if we get, you know, up to 1 million subs, Wildman and I will definitely go on tour. Alright, cheers, take care out there, thank you.